Hello, hello, how on earth are we today? My word, you're actually getting an escort by a Spitfire, very nice. That's incredibly rare. They usually go off and do their own thing, as you well know. Excuse me. Set that off to the corner. Hello, Kiwi, how are you today? Oh dear, Fell requested another one, so I'll be grabbing that as well. Because that's actually one of my favourites as well. And I've got a few things in the post that I can't wait to share with you. Yes, it was my idea as well, but you're the one that supplied it. That's very strange. How are you plugging it in? I'm assuming USB. You want to hear me sing it? If that's the case, you should be able to go in and set the sound audio to continue out of the speakers rather than USB device, because the PlayStation 4 controllers, if I remember correctly, do have speakers inside them. I believe that's the case at least. Anyway, I think that's enough waffling. How do I do this? I'm just going to go out on a limb, assume you use Windows, right-click on the speaker, and open sound settings. It should give you a drop-down menu that says, should have a small list of speakers and such. Make sure it's either set to speakers or your headphones rather than USB device. ASMR tech support. It does seem that way, yes. I don't think anyone would complain. Oh right, I even gifted you a subscription. My headphones are USB, but you should be able to tell which ones are your headphones USB and which one is the controller USB. If not, simply trial and error should work. Now, we're starting off with a book that is entitled The Macmillan Treasury of Poetry for Children. You're welcome, Kiwi, don't worry. I've had to do this more than a few times. I've currently got five audio outputs plugged in. Oh, no, technically 6, because there's 2 digital outputs. I've then also got 3 audio inputs. Only one of them I like to use. The other one is reserved entirely for Skype. Anyway, let us proceed. And abruptly cut out the violin, my apologies on that. Usually I let it fade a touch. So, again, these are 2 that my mother said I should probably share, mainly because she quite likes them. This one is The Tiger. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire from thine eyes? or what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart begin to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In the furnace was the brain. What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terror clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand of eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? You know, I always forget how long ago some of these were written. I like it when they actually have the date with them, and as I say, this one doesn't have the date, but it has the years that Mr. William Blake lived. For he was born in 1757 and passed away 1827. I mean, for that kind of time, he had an extraordinarily long life. What was the other one? There's two here. Which one is it? Oh, we'll just go with both of them. Might as well. So we will start off with one called Uphill by Christina Rossetti. And after that we shall go with If by Rudyard Kipling. I like that first name, that's lovely. So, uphill. Does the road wind uphill all the way? Yes, to the very end. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? From morn to night, my friend. But is there for the night a resting place? A roof for when the slow dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that inn. Shall I meet other wayfarers at night? Those who have gone before? Then must I knock or call when just in sight? They will not keep you standing at the door. Shall I find comfort and travel sure and weak? Of labour you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who seek? Yes, beds for all who come. It's an odd one, but I suppose that's more of a akin to death style. It's rather comforting, I suppose, that no matter what road you pass, what road you tread, you will be accommodated for in each and every life and afterlife. I'm killing my back, turning slightly, because there's not really space to put it here. It's a much, much too wide a book for that. So I'll hold it here instead. To If. Raise that slightly. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream, and not make dreams your masters, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves, and make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build 'em up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose, and start again at the beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that is in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Alright, it was that one that she meant. That's lovely. But that is very much the stiff upper lip attitude, which I was very much raised with. I don't necessarily think it's right, but it's not a bad one. And just in case you wished, as I say, that's the book we were reading from just then. They're not necessarily explicitly for children, they're not simplified in the way that we do in modern day. But they transcribe a message, they bring across meaning rather than happy story times. And I think that's tremendously more important. There we are. Now I think you all know the one I'm about to read from this. Actually, I'll save this one for just a moment. We'll do that one after this one. Absolutely, Fel. What do you have in mind? There's a good chance that it won't be necessarily today, but possibly. I have no real aim for today's. While you think on that, bring this across. And it was sent privately to me, wasn't it? There. Just curious, since those would be very long. Ah, yes. I would absolutely be up for that. Now, again, this is very much a song that I would highly recommend you all listen to. It's a homage to a squadron of USSR pilots that bombed the Nazis on the Eastern Front. Hello, X-Kinney, is that? I'm going with X-Kinney. I hope you are well, and many thanks for the follow. But something like the Divine Comedy would be funny to you, Butcher. I've found a copy of the Divine Comedy for roughly, £20, including shipping from the States. And if it remains at that price by the time I get my Twitch payout, I'll be getting that. I reckon that would be tremendous fun to read. But yes, as I was saying, this is a song written about the USSR pilots fighting on the Eastern Front, bombing Nazis in the sleep. I've not found one of those yet, but at the same point I wasn't looking explicitly for that one yet. I will do though, because you recommended it. I trust your word. Now I'm going to do my very best not to sing this because I cannot keep pace with them. From the depths of hell in silence cast their spells, explosive violence. Russian night time, fighting perfected, flawless vision undetected. Pushing on and on, the planes are going strong, Air Force #1. Somewhere down below, they're looking for their foe, bombers on the run. You can't hide, you can't move, just abide, their attacks being proved. Raiders in the dark. Silent through the night, the witches join the fight, never miss their mark. Canvas wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment 588. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory tell their story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, stealth perfected. Foes are losing ground, retreating at the sound. Death is in the air, suddenly appears, confirming all your fears. Strike from witch's lair. Target found, come around, barrels sound. From the battleground, axis aiming high. Rodine awaits, defeat them at the gates. Leave to fight and fly. Canvas wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment 588. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory tell the story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, stealth perfected. Beneath the starlight of the heavens, unlikely heroes in the skies. Witches to attack, witches coming back. As they appear on the horizon, the wind will whisper when the night witches come. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory tell their story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, stealth perfected. From the depths of hell in silence cast their spells, explosive violence. Russian nighttime, flight perfected, flawless vision undetected. Right, you recommend the Paradise Lost for the pictures. Now, as I will always say when I'm reading out anything that is written as a song, go listen to the song variant. It is significantly better. I can't hold a candle to it. But their story only lives on if people continue to read about it. And there, hold on. Shit. Thank you for throwing the YouTube link. The name terribly escapes me, and I am deeply embarrassed by that. But yes, that will do significantly better than I did for such. They bring light to wars that aren't necessarily taught. Sabaton, thank you! That was going to bug me so very much. Ah, it's one of those days. But yes, Sabaton Night Witches is about a regiment 588th that was exclusively female. All of the pilots were females, the gunners were females, and they devastated the Axis forces on the Eastern Front and ensured that they wouldn't get a moment's respite. They did fantastic work. And if you've been here for any length of time, you understand that my heart will always go out to soldiers, pilots, seamen, because they do incredible things. They are more important for the psychological warfare. Yes, if you aren't able to get a moment's rest, it not only suffers fatigue, but at every moment you're looking for that silent bomber that came from the sky last night. It was actually the Germans that gave them the name. Was it? That I didn't actually know. I bet they quite happily adopted it. Ooh, sorry. Now this one follows the same sort of lines as that one. That doesn't look like it. Has it? Does it? Oh, you're not going to have a proper index. You swine. Hold on. Is there... I appreciate the lurk, thank you very much. This one doesn't seem to have an index tool. That's very disappointing. Actually, since we've had one from William Blake already, we might as well continue with another. Prepare, prepare, the iron helm of war. Bring forth the lost, cast in this spacious orb. Thou angel of fate turns them with mighty hands and casts them out upon the darkened earth. Prepare, prepare, prepare your hearts for death's cold hand. Prepare your soul for flight, your bodies for the earth. Prepare your arms for glorious victory. Prepare your eyes to meet a holy God. Prepare, prepare. Whose fatal scroll is that? Methinks 'tis mine. Why sink my heart? Why faltereth my tongue? Had I 3 lives, I'd die in such a cause, and rise with ghosts over the well-fought field. Prepare, prepare. The arrows of Almighty God are drawn. Angels of death stand in the lowering heavens. Thousands of souls must seek the realm of light and walk together on the clouds of heaven. Prepare, prepare. Soldiers, prepare. Our cause is heaven's cause. Soldiers, prepare. Be worthy of our cause. Prepare to meet our Father in the sky. Prepare, O troops that are to fall today. Prepare, prepare. I'm definitely going to have to look into William Blake's backstory a lot more. I didn't believe he was actually in a war. See, I'm looking for the charge of the Light Brigade, but I am not seeing it, and this is bothering me tremendously. Also, is it just me that hates dust covers? I prefer to hold the physical book, rather than just a little bit there. One last look for this, and then we'll move on. Ooh, from Ode to the Death of Duke of Wellington. I reckon we'll do that one once I give up searching for this one. From was in Zululand, Zululand. Battle of Waterloo. In Flanders Field. I can't not read that one. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep through poppies grow. We shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields. Now, that's why on Remembrance Day, which is here in the United Kingdom, the 11th of the 11th, we recognize every soldier. We don't discriminate just ours. We understand that everyone is fighting for their own reasons and for their own country and for what they believe is good. I know that's not necessarily how it's always been, but as a country grows, they must come to accept that style of thing. But we wear poppies to show our support, and it's always been poppies to symbolize veterans and the fallen. Those slain in war or something to that effect will be represented by a poppy. I think 4 or 5 years ago, they made metal poppies, thousands of them, and had them by Her Majesty the Queen's Palace. Yeah, it is a palace, Windsor Palace. And it was a tremendous sight. But good God, did it make you envision just how many people died. It was incredible. They sold the poppies off for charity, and I think they were going for something to the effect of £10,000 each. So we were looking for Charge of the Light Brigade. Charge of the Light Brigade. Where goes their charge? 108. Let's go to 108. It'll probably be near that. Yep, it was in the chapter entitled Charge, because you only get chapter names. So this is the Charge of the Light Brigade, and it was written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Of course it was. I do like his works. Half a league, half a league, half a league onwards, all in the valley of death, rode the 600, forward the light brigade, charge the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600, forward the light brigade. Was there a man dismayed? Not thought the soldiers knew someone had blundered. There's not to make a reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do or die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannons to the right of them, cannons to the left of them, cannon in front of them. Volleyed the thunder, stormed at what shot and shell. Boldly they rode and well into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell rode the 600. Flashed all their sabres bare, flashed as they turned in the air, sabring the gunners there, charging an army while all the world wondered, plunged in the battery's smoke, right through the line they broke, Cossack and Russian reeled from the sabre stroke, shattering and sundered. Then they rode back, but not the 600. Cannons to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them, volleyed and thundered. Stormed at with while shooting and shell, while horse and hero fell. They had fought so well, come through the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of 600. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made, all the world wondered. Honour the charge they made, honour the Light Brigade, noble 600. I can't help but read that and get just a touch emotional. I always do with accounts of war. There's no way I can't. I'm an incredibly empathetic person, and with things of such gravity, they hit you in ways that you don't expect. They are usually so very visceral, so in your face about what they are, that it's a little... Quite often, when writings of war are handed round, they seem gratuitous, as though it's violence for the sake of violence, it's blood or excess, when that isn't necessarily the case. But when it's in that style, it comes up. You're getting yours ready. I will definitely lurk in yours, and I will speak with you later. I hope you have a wonderful stream. But yes, when it's more of an honouring them, saying, look, they did something that they shouldn't have done. They went in when someone had clearly made a blunder. They shouldn't have gone there. But they fought that with their nobility. They fought because their commander told them to, and they did their job to the end. And they came back to some extent not victorious, but damn, did they do an amazing thing. And I will never fail to be awed by the things that men can do under such pressure. Let us find one more from this little book, then I reckon we'll change to something a little more light-hearted. 71, let's pick something from that category. This is The Night Before the Engagement, written at sea in the First Dutch War of 1665. To all you ladies now at land, we men at sea indite. Hello, Glenn. But first would have you understand how hard it is to write. The Mouse is now, the Neptune too, we must implore to write to you. For though the Muses should prove kind and fill our empty brain, yet if rough Neptune rows the wind, the wave, the azara main, our paper, pen, and ink, and we roll up and down our ship at sea. Then if we write not by each post, think not we are unkind, not yet concealed, our ship or lost, by Dutchman or by wind. Our tears will send a speedier way, the tide shall bring 'em twice a day. The king with wounded and surprise will swear the seas grow bold, because the tides will rise than ere they used of old. But let him know it is our tears brings floods to grief, to wither stairs. Should foggy Updame chance to know our sad and dismal story, the Dutch would scorn so weak a foe, and quit their fort at Goree. For what resistance can they find from men who have left their hearts behind? Let wind and weather do its worst, be you to us but kind. Let Dutchman vapour Spaniard's course, no sorrow we shall find. 'Tis then no matter how things go, or who's our friend or who's our foe. To pass the tedious hours away, we through merry main, or else at serious umber play. But why would we in vain two stuck together each other's ruin thus pursue? We were undone when we left you, but now our fears tempestuous grow, and cast our hopes away, whilst you, regardless of our woe, sit careless at a play. Perhaps permit some happier man to kiss your hand or flirt your fan. When any mouthful tune you hear that dies in ever note, as if it sought with each man's care for being so remote, Think then now how oft love we've made to you when all those tunes were played. Injustice you cannot refuse to think of our distress. When we for hopes, of honour's loss, our certain happiness, all those designs are but to prove ourselves more worth of your love. And now we've told you all our loves, and likewise all our fears, in hopes this declaration moves some pity from your tears. Let's hear of no inconsistency. We have too much of that at sea. And that was by Charles Sackville, Earl of Dorset, 1638, 1706. The Dutch and the Spaniards, they had a terrific spat. They both were impressive forces on the ocean, and that has always been the case through history. The Spanish, the Dutch, the English, and to an extent, I suppose, the Vikings, in their own time, they ruled the waves. There was no one that could oppose them. And there was a very much changing of the guard at some point between the Spaniards and the Dutch. Right, that reminds me. Go over here to go to Twitch. Oh, I don't see her. Go to her page manually and she'll be on later.
Make sure you guys copy and paste.
That made me jump. But she will be streaming later on today, as I say. I will do what I can to hopefully rate her when I finish. She's a wonderful person. Let's find another book. I think it's this one that I want to read now. Yes. My word, there was a lot of dust. So how on earth are you today, Glenn? This is the Golden Staircase, by the way. Another one, Poems for Children. And just because they say they're for children doesn't mean they are for children explicitly. Everyone can get enjoyment out of poetry, regardless of the target demographic. Ooh, and this has pictures to some extent. Oh, I hate it when people write in books like this. That's not old writing either, that's reasonably modern. How long is this index? There we are. And you know it's good when your book has liver spots. When Feather takes his spade to dig, the robin comes along. He sits up on a little twig and sings a little song. Or if the trees are rather far, he does not stay alone, but comes up close to where we are, and bobs upon a stone. If you're digging, you're usually unearthing worms and the like, and robins are actually tremendously territorial. If you treat a robin well, it will return. Birds are a lot cleverer than people believe they are. And yes, I know cleverer isn't a word, but it fit. That was by Lawrence Alma Tarayan, by the way. Edward Lear. I haven't read Edward Lear in a long time. Yes, let's do that one. How's the ball? Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, good lord. Okay. Oops, sorry. They went to sea in a sieve. Sorry, they went to sea in a sieve. They did in a sieve. They went to sea, in spite of all their friends could say, on a winter's morn, on a stormy day. In a sieve they went to sea, and when the sieve turned round and round, and everyone cried, "You'll all be drowned," they called aloud, "Our sieve ain't big, but we don't care a button. We don't care a fig. In a sieve we'll go to sea." Far and few are the lands where the Jumbles live. Their heads are green, their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed away in a sieve, they did. In a sieve they sailed so fast, with only a beautiful pea-green veil tied with a riband by way of a sail to a small tobacco pipe mast. And everyone said, who saw them go, "Oh, won't they be soon upset, you know, for the sky is dark and the voyage is long, and happen what may, it's extremely wrong in a sieve to sail so fast. Far and few are the lands where the Jumbles live. Their hands are green and heads are green and their hands are blue." And they went to sea in a sieve. The water it soon came in, it did, the water it soon came in. So to keep them dry they wrapped their feet in a pinky paper all folded neat. They fastened it down with a pin, and they passed the night in the crockery jar, and each of them said, "How wise we are! Though the skies be dark and the voyage be long, yet we never can think we were rash or wrong. While round in our sieve we spin, far and few are the lands where the Jumbles live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue." And they went to sea in a sieve. All the night long they sailed away, and when the sun went down, they whistled and warbled a moony song to the echoing sound of a coppery gong. In the shade of the mountains brown, "Oh, Timballo, how happy we are when we live in a sieve and a crockery jar, and all night long the moonlight pale we sail away with a pea-green sail in the shade of the mountains brown. Far and few are the lands where the Jumbles live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue." And they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed to the western sea, they did, to a land all covered with trees, and they bought an owl and a useful cart, and a pound of rice, and a cranberry tart, and a hive of silvery bees, and they bought a pig and some green jackdaws, and a lovely monkey with lollipop paws, and 40 bottles of Rainbow Ree, and no end of Stilton cheese. Far and few are the lands where the Jumbles live. Their heads are green, their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. And in 20 years they all came back, in 20 years or more, and everyone said how tall they've grown. For they've been the lakes and the terrible zone, and the hills and the hills of the Chankly boars, and they drank their health and gave them a feast of dumplings made of beautiful yeast. And everyone said, if we only live, we too will go to sea in a sieve, to the hills of the Chankly boar. Far and few are the lands where the Jumbles live. Their heads are green, their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. Oh, lovely, lovely. Also, I see she has just gone live, so if you do not already, I will very much say I can't actually paste them there. I can that way, though. Do check out what Kiwi is doing, for she is playing a, I believe, indie game. I'm currently seeing a stream starting soon with the Pikachu, and it looks ever so sweet. Let's set that there, right? Let's find another. This is a longer one. Where does this end? There. This is by William Ayton, I believe. Edinburgh, after Flodden. News of battle, hark! 'Tis ringing down the street, and the archways and the pavements bear the clang of hurrying feet. News of battle, who hath brought it? News of triumph, who should bring tidings from our noble army? Greetings from our gallant king. All last night we watched the beacons blazing on the hills afar, each one bearing, as it kindled, message of the opened war. All night long the northern streamers shot across the trembling sky, fearful lights that never beacon, save when the king of heroes die. News of battle, who hath brought it? All are thronging to the gate. Warden, warden, open quickly. Man, is this a time to wait? And the heavy gates are opened. Then a murmur long and loud, and a cry of fear and wonder bursts from out the bending crowd, for they see in battered harness only one hard-sticken man, and his weary steed is wounded, and his cheek is pale and worn. Spearless hangs a bloody banner in this weak and drooping hand. God, can that be Rudolph Murray? Captain of the city band. Round him crushed the people, crying, tell us all, oh, tell us true. Where are they? who went to battle, Randolph Murray, sworn to you? Where are they, our brothers, children? Have they met the English foe? Why art thou alone, unfollowed? Is it weal or is it woe? Like a corpse, the grisly warrior looks from out his helm of steel, but no word he speaks in answer, only with his armed heel. Chides he weary steed, and onward up the city streets they ride. Fathers, sisters, mothers, children shrieking, praying by his side. By the God that made thee, Rudolph, tell us what mischief hath come. Then he lifts his riven banner, and the asker's voice is dumb. The elders of the city have met within their hall. The men whom good King James had charged to watch the town and wall. Your hands are weak with age, he said. Your hearts are stout and true. So bide ye in the maiden town, while others fight for you. My trumpet from the board side shall send the blast so clear that all who wait within the gate that stirring around may hear. Or if it be the will of heaven that back in never come, and if instead of Scottish shouts ye hear the English drum, then let warning bells ring out, then gird you to the fray, then man the walls with burghers stout, and fight well, fight you may. 'Twere better that in fiery flame the roof should thunder down, than that the foot of foreign foe should trample in the town. Then in came Rudolph Murray, his steps was slow and weak, and so he doffed his dented helm. The tears ran down his cheek, they fell upon his corslet, and on his mailed hand. As he gazed around him wistfully, leaning sorely on his brand, and none who then behold him but were smote with fear. Smote. I've never actually seen smote written down. Smote with fear, for a bolder and a sterner man had never couched a spear. They know so sad a messenger some ghastly news must bring, and all of them were fathers, and their sons were with the king. And up then rose the provost, a brave man whose ho? Of ancient name and knight fame, and chivalrous decree, he ruled our city like a lord, who brooked no equal here, and ever for the townsman's rights stood up against prince and peer. And he had seen the Scottish host march from the Boroughmere, with the music storm and the claymores stout, and all the din the thousands out, when youths of victory sure, but yet a dearer thought had he, for within father's pride he saw his last remaining son go forth by Randolph's side, with casque on the hand and spur on the heel, all keen to do and dare. And proudly did that gallant boy Dundinnin's banner bear. Oh, woeful now was the old man's look, and he spake right heavily. Now, Randolph, tell thy tidings, however sharp they be. Woe is written on thy visage, death is looking from thy face. Spake! Though it be for the overflow, it cannot be disgrace. Right bitter was the agony that wrung that soldier proud. Thrice did strive to answer, and thrice he groaned aloud. And I'm glad you are, my dear. Then he gave the riven banner to the old man's shaking hand, saying, That's all I bring ye, from the bravest in the land. Aye, ye may look upon it. It was guarded well and long, by your brothers and your children, by the valiant and the strong. One by one they fell around it, as the archers laid them low, grimly dying, still unconquered, with their faces to the foe. Aye, yea, well may look upon it. There is more than honour there, else be sure I had not brought it from the field of dark despair. Never yet was royal banner stepped in such costly dye. It hath lain upon the bosom where no other shroud shall lie. Ceres, I charge you, keep it holy. Keep it a sacred thing, for the stain you see upon it was the lifeblood of our king. Woe, woe, the lamentation, what a piteous cry was there! Widows, maidens, mothers, children shrieking, sobbing in despair. Though the streets the death word rushes, spreading terror, sweeping on. Jesus Christ, our King has fallen. Oh, great God, King James has gone. Holy Mother Mary, shield us. Thou who erst did louse thy son. Oh, the blackest day for Scotland that she ever knew before. Oh, our King, the good, the noble, shall we see him nevermore. Woe to us, and woe to Scotland. Oh, our sons and men. Surely some have escaped the Southern. Surely some will come again, till the oak that fell last winter shall uproar its shattered stem. Wives and mothers in Dunedin, ye may look in vain for 'em. But within the council chamber all is silent, as the grave whilst the tempest of their sorrow shook the bosoms of the brave. Well indeed might they be shooken. With the weight of such a blow, he was gone, their prince, their idol, whom they loved and worshipped so. Like a knell of death and judgment, wrung from the heaven by angel hand, fell the words of desolation on the elders of the land. Hooray heads were bowed, and trembling, withered hands were clasped and wrung. God had left the old feeble, he had ta'en away the young. Then the bravest, he uprose, and his lip was ashone white, but flush was on his brow, and his eye was full of light. Thou hast spoken, Rodolphe Mary, like a soldier stout and true. Thou hast done a deed of daring, had been parled but by a few. For thou hast not ashamed to face us, nor to spake thy ghastly tale, standing thou a knight
and captain, here alive, within thy mail. Now as my God shall judge me, I hold it brave done. Then hadst thou tarried in thy place, and died above my son, thou needest not tell it, he is dead. God help us all this day, but speak how fought the citizens within the furious fray. For by the mighty of Mary, 'twere something still to tell, that no Scottish foot went backwards when the royal lion fell. Scottish pride is something else, Jesus. That was wonderful. Ah. So before we acquired Scotland as one of our empire, well, part of our empire effectively, because they are still part of us, even though they don't particularly wish to be, but we've moved a lot of business up to them, and we support them greatly. I'm not entirely sure why they want to leave, but I do understand it. They fought with great honour. As I said earlier today, as I will say 100 more times, my heart goes out to everyone that has fought and died in battle. Fought and died with honour. And I purely add that because technically terror attacks are in battle, but I do not see them as honourable. I understand their motives, I understand their reasons, but I see no honour in it. And I know that's going to put a dent in this video. Oh. Right, let's find... let's just simply continue on. This is Soldier's Rest. Remember, these were for children. From Lady of the Lake. Soldier, rest thy wherefore, or sleep the sleep that knows not breaking. Dream of battlefields no more. Days of danger, nights of waking, in our isle encountered hall. Hands unseen thy coach e'er stune. Fairy strains of music fall, every sense in slumbering dawn. Soldier, rest thy warfare. Dream of flighten fields no more. Sleep the sleep that knows not breaking. Morn of toil, nor night of waking. No rude sound shall reach thine ear. Armour's clang of war steeds champing, trump nor pibroch summon here. Mustering clan of squadron trampling, yet the lark's shire, the fife may come, and the daybreak from the fellow, and the bitten sound is drum, booming from the sage shallow. Ruder sounds shall none be here. Guards nor wardens challenge here. Here's no war steed, nay, and champion shouting clans or squadrons stamping. Sir Walter Scott. Oh, so we're apparently sticking with the war theme, because that seems to be what they're all about. Lovely. Gathering Son of Donald D.H.U. Written by Sir Walter Scott once more. Pibroch of Dunnandu, Pibroch of Dunnel, wake thy wild voice anew, summon Clan Canol. Come away, hark to the summons. Come in your war array, gentles and commons, come from deep glen and from mountain so rocky. The war pipe and pannon are at Invalach. Come here, come every hill-plaid and true heart that wears one. Come every steel blade and strong hand that bears one. Leave untended the herd, the flock without shelter, leave the corpse uninterred. The bride at the altar, leave the deer, leave the steer, leave nets and barges, come with your fighters' gear, broadswords and targes. Come as the winds come, when forests are rendered. Come as the waves come, when navies are standard. Faster, come, faster and faster, chief, vessel, page, and groom, tenant and master, fast they come, see how they gather, wild waves and eagle plumb, blended with heather. Cast your blades, draw your blades, forward each man set. Pibroch of Dunnel done, kneel for the onset.
These all seem to be tremendously Scottish. It's rather sweet, actually. I like it. Ooh. Border Ballad from the monastery. March, march, Ettrich and Tevidale. Why the dale dinny, ye march forward in order. March, march, Eskdale and Liddesdale. All the blue bonnets are bound for the border. Many a banner spread, flutters above your head. Many a crest that is famous in story, mount and make ready then. Sons of the mountain's glen, fight the queen and our old Scottish glory. Come from the hills where your hirsels are grazing. Come from the glen of the buck and the roe. Come the greg and the bacon is blazing. Come with the buckler, and lance, and the bow. Trumpets are sounding, war steeds are bounding. Stand to their arms, and march in good order. England shall many a day tell of the bloody fray, when the blue bonnets came over the border. Sir Walter Scott really did seem to hate the British. I can't blame him. Oh hey, the Charge of the Light Brigade is here as well. My word, they put that in a children's book. We'll not read that one again, as we've already read that one. So this is Vitae Lampard by Henry Newbolt. There's a breathless hush in the close to night, 10 to make, and they match to win. A bumping pitch and blinding light, an hour to play, and the last man in. And it's not for the sake of ribboned coat, or the selfish hope of a senseless fame, but his captain's hand on his shoulder smote. Play up,
play up and play the game. The sand of the desert is sodden red, red with the wreck of a square that broke. The Gatlings jammed and the colonels dead, and the regiment blind with dust and smoke. The river of death is brimmed his banks, and England's far and honour's name. But the voice of a schoolboy rallies the ranks. Play up, and play the game. This is the word that year by year, while in her place the school is set, every one of her sons must hear, and none that hears it dares forget. This they will all with the joyful mind bear through life like a torch in flame, and falling, fling to the host behind. Play up, and play the game. I'll stretch my leg. I brought good news from the box. What's this one? Admirals all. Effingham, Greenvale, Raleigh, Drake, here's to the bold and free. Benbow, Collingwood, Byron, Blake, hail to the King of the Sea. Admirals all, for England's sake, honour be yours and fame, and honour as long as wage shall break to Nelson Pearl's name. Admirals all, for England's sake, honour be yours and fame, and honour as long as waves shall break to Nelson Pearl's name. Essex was fretting in Cad's Bay, with all the galleons far in sight. Howard at last must give him his way, and the word was passed to fight. Never was schoolboy gayer than he, since holidays first began. He tossed his bonnet to wind and sea, and under the guns he ran. Drake nor devil nor Spaniard feared, their city he put to the sake. He singed his Catholic Majesty beard, and hurried his ship to wreck. He was playing at Plymouth, a rubber of bowls, when the great Armada came. But he said, they must wait their turn, good souls, and he stopped and finished the game. 15 sail were the Dutchmen bold, Duncan he had but 2, but he anchored them fast, where the taxel shawled, and his colours aloft he flew. I've taken the depths to the fathom, he cried, and I'll sink with the right good will, for I know when we're all us under the tide, my flag will be fluttering still. Splinters were flying above below when Nelson sailed the Sound. Mark you, I wouldn't be elsewhere here. Now, said he, for £1,000, the Admiral's signal bade him fly, but he wickedly wagged his head and clapped the glass to his sightless eye. I'm damned if I see it, he said. Admirals all, they said their say. The echoes are ringing still. Admirals all, they want their way.
to heaven under hill. But they left us kingdom none can take, the realm of the circular sea, to be ruled by the rightful sons of Blake, and the Rodneys yet to be, admirals all for England's sake, honour by yours, and fame, and honour as long as the wave shall break, to Nelson Pearl's name. So I grew up on an island, and on this island we're extremely well known for sailing, for boats, and for history of boats, because it comes with it. We've had a great many famous admiral from our shores. We've had a great many battles fought off of our coast. And there's more than a few graves out to sea. So long as the history is never forgotten, those men shall never die. Not one of them. The moment someone forgets them, that's it. You do not truly die until no one knows you. The more hearts you touch, even if your bodily form leaves this world, you are still there, you are still alive in the stories, you are still alive in their hearts, in their minds. You will be remembered, you will be missed, and you will be loved. Do something wonderful with the life that you are graced, and you will never be forgotten. You will never die. Your name shall be known, if only you try. Let's just do that one. The loss of the Brickenhead. Right on our flank the sun was dropping down, the deep sea heaved around in bright repose, when, like the wild shriek the sun-captured town, a cry of woman rose. The stout ship Brickenhead lay hard and fast, caught without hope upon a hidden rock. Her timbers thrilled us nerves, thrilled us nerves, when through them passed the spirit of that shock. And even like base cowards who leave their ranks in danger as hour before the rush of steel drifted away disorderly the planks from underneath her keel, so calm the air, so calm and still the flood, that low down in its blue translucent glass we saw the great fierce fish that thirst for blood pass slowly, then repass. They tarred the waves, tarred for their prey. The sea turned one clear smile. Like things asleep, those dark shapes in the azure silence lay, as quiet as the deep. Then amidst oath, the prayer, the rush, and wreck, faint screams, faint questions, waiting no reply. Our colonel gave the word, and on the deck formed us in line to die. To die, 'twas hard, while the sleek ocean glowed beneath the sky, as far as summer flowers. All to the boats, cried one. He was, thank God,
no officer of ours. Our English hearts beat true. We would not stir that base appeal we heard, but heeded not. On land, on sea, we had our colours, sir, to keep without a spot. They shall not say in England that we fought with shameful strength, unhonoured life to seek, into mean safety, mean disaster brought, by trampling down the weak. So we made women with the children go, the oars play back again, and yet again, whilst inch by inch the drowning ship sank low, still, under steadfast men. What follows? Why recall? The brave who died without flinching in the bloody surf. The sleep as well beneath that purple tide as others under turf. They sleep as well, and, roused from their wild grave, wearing their wounds like stars, shall rise again, joined his with Christ, because they bled to save his weak ones, not in vain. If that day's work no clasp or medal mark, if each proud heart no cross or bronze may press, nor cannon thunder loud from tower or park, this feel we none the less, that those whom God high grace there saved from ill, those also left his martins in the bay, though not by siege, though not in battle, still full well had earned their pay. I think I am going to step away for just a moment. I will return shortly, and I pray that you also get yourself a little drink. See you shortly. It was at the end anyway. Gone for tea. That's some very strange music. I'm not a fan. I have to change that for when I next go on a break. There we are.
What shall we read next? Oh no. Terribly sorry. My pages are sealed together. I just realised I still have the confetti up. There we are. And that's not the simple it hasn't broken, they've just never been separated. One moment, please. Do I open it? Do I think I should. I mean, I can read it without breaking that seal. The Battle of the Baltic. Of Nelson and the North sing the glorious days renown, when the battle fierce came forth, all the might of Denmark's crown, and her arms along the deep proudly shone. By each gun the lighted brand in bold determined hand, and the prince of all the land led them on. Like leviathans afloat lay their bulwarks on the brine, while the sign of battle flew on the lofty British line. It was 10 of April morn by the chime. As they drifted on their path, there was silence deep as death, and boldest held his breath for a time. But the might of the English flushed to the anticipated the scene. Flushed to anticipate the scene, my apologies. And her van, the fleeter, rushed o'er the deadly space between. Hearts of oak, our captains cried, when each gun from the adamant's lips spread the death shade round the ships, like the hurricane eclipse of the sun. Again, and the havoc did not slack, till a feeble cheer the Dane to the cheering sent us back. Their shots along the deep slowly boom, then ceased, and all is well, wail, as they strike and shattered sail, or in confrontation pale, like the gloom, And spoke the victor then, as he hailed them o'er the wave. Ye are brothers, ye are men, and we conquered, but to save. So pace instead of death, let us spring but yield, proud foe, thy fleet with the crows at England's feet, and make submission meet to our king. Then Denmark blessed our chief, that he gave her wounds repose, and the sounds of joy and grief from her people widely rose, as death withdrew his shades from the day, while the sun looked smiling bright o'er the wild and woeful sight, where the fires and funneling light died away. New joy, old England, rise, for the tidings of the might by the festal sight blaze, while the wine cup shines in light. And yet, amidst the joy and uproar, let us think of that sleep. full many fathom deep, by thy wild and stormy sleep, else nor brave hearts to Britain's pride, once so faithful and so true, on the deck of fame that died, with a gallant good Rio. Soft sighs of the wind's heavens o'er their grave, while the billow mouthful rolls, and the mermaid songs condoles, singing glory to the souls of the brave. Let's find something a little different. What do we want to read? That was a nice short one. We'll just do that quickly. God who created me, nimble and light of limb, in three elements free, to run, to ride, to swim, not when the senses dim, but now, from the heart of joy, I would remember him. Take the thanks of a boy. That's lovely, isn't it? So here hath been dawning another blue day. Think wilt thou let it slip useless away. Out of eternity this new day is born, into eternity at night will return. Behold it, aforetime, no eye ever did, so soon it forever from all eyes is hid. Here hath been dawning another blue day. Think wilt thou let it slip uselessly away. Right, so I'm looking for basically just one long one to go, because all of a sudden I got incredibly tired. And I'm not sure how much longer I can actually go. I think I found the one. It's only a little, but still. Langley Lane by Sir Walter Scott once more. In all the land rang up, rang down, is there ever a place so pleasant and sweet as Langley Lane in London town? Just out of the Bastille of square and street, little white cottage all in a row, gardens where balconies and buttons grow, swallows nestle in the roof and wall, and up above the still blue sky, where the woolly white clouds go sailing by, I seem to be able to see it all. For now, in summer, I take my chair and sit outside in the sun. Excuse me, sorry. And hear the distant murmur of the street and square, and the swallows and the sparrows chirruping near, and Fanny, who lives over the way, comes running many a time each day, with her little hands touch so warm and kind, and I smile and talk with the sun on my cheek, and the little live hand seems to stir and speak, for Fanny is dumb and I am blind. Fanny is sweet, 13, and she has fine black ringlets,
dark eyes clear, and I am older by summers 3. Who should we hold one another so dear? Why should we hold one another so dear? Because she cannot utter a word, nor bear the music of bee or bird. The water cannot splash, or the milkman's call, because I have never seen the sky, nor the little singers that hum and fly. Yet no, she is gazing upon them all, for the sun is shining, and the swallows fly, and the bees and the blue flies murmur low, and I hear the water cart go by, with its cool splash, splash down the dusty row, and the little one close at my side perseveres, mine eyes upraised to the cottage eaves, where birds and chirping in summer shine, and I hear, though I cannot look, and she, though she cannot hear, can and singers see. And the little soft fingers flutter in mine. Hath not the dear little hand a tongue when it stirs in my palm for the love of me? Do I not know she is pretty and young? Hath not my soul an eye to see? 'Tis pleasure to make one's bosom stir, to wonder how things appear to her. That I only hear as they pass around, and as long as we sit in the music and light, she is happy to keep God's sight, and I am happy to keep God's sound. Why, I know her face, though I am blind. I made it of music long ago. Strange large eyes, the dark hair twined round the pensive light of a brow of snow. And when I sit by my little one and hold her hand and talk in the sun and hear the music that haunts the place, I know she is raising her eyes to me and guessing how gentle my voice must be, and seeing the music upon my face. Though if ever, Lord, God should grant me a prayer, I know the fancy is only vain. I should pray just once, when the weather is fair, to see little Fanny and Langley Lane, though Fanny perhaps would pray to hear the voice of the friend that she holds so dear. The song of the birds, the hum of the street. It is better to be as we have been, each keeping up something unheard, unseen, to make God's heaven more strange and sweet. Ah, life is pleasant in Langley Lane. There is always something sweet to hear, chirping of birds or patter of rain. And Fanny, my little one, always near. And though I am weak and cannot live long, and Fanny, my darling, is far from strong, and though we can never married be, well, what then, since we hold one another so dear? For the sake of the pleasure one cannot hear, and the pleasure that only one can see. That was actually really nice. I liked that. It's kind of upsetting. I'll have to do some research on him as well. There's a few I have to check up on. But as I say, I have mentally checked out, and I sincerely apologize. So hopefully you will give me but a moment. I will send you to a dear friend. And we will get that ready immediately. So for now, I will say many thanks for your time today. And I hope you do enjoy your time with Kiwi. Many thanks, and ta